Chapter 174. Alex smiled slightly before he said, "Don't worry. Your husband has already been bullied for so many years. I'm already used to it." "Okay then," Emma nodded. At this time, the property guide smiled before she told Olivia, "Miss, it's true and it's common knowledge that the Beacon Top Development Company has always regarded the villa owners as our most distinguished customers. Therefore, our private swimming pool, high-end gymnasium, high-end sports club, golf courses and Michelin star restaurants from Italy are specially opened in the villa area to specifically serve the villa owners." Olivia replied angrily, "What do you mean by that? So, are the owners of the high-rise condominiums not human? We're spending a lot of money to buy your property too. Why can't we enjoy these facilities?" The property guide could only reply, "I'm sorry, but we also have a clubhouse in the high-rise condominium area. If you choose to buy one of the high-rise condominiums, you can use the clubhouse there." Olivia asked, "So, does that mean that I won't be able to use any of the facilities in the villa? Will I not be able to use the golf course too?" "No." Then, the property guide continued, "The facilities in the vicinity of the villas are specifically prepared for the villa owners. I'm really sorry." At this time, Harold was extremely annoyed and he said, "What do you think you're doing right now? Do you know that we're already planning to purchase one of the 250 square meter units in your high-rise building? Do you know how much that would cost? We're about to spend so much money to buy your property, but you won't allow us to use the facilities inside the villa area. Do you believe that I will change my mind about buying from you, then?" The property guide continued smiling before she said, "Sir, let me tell you the truth now. Initially, when we first started this project, we only built the outer circle of ordinary residency areas because this was a requirement stipulated by the city council. We did not have the permission to solely develop a whole plot of land just for villas since it would be a waste of land. That is the reason why we built these ordinary residential houses and high-rise buildings surrounding the villas. Our priority has always been the owners of the villas. If you cannot accept our conditions and rules, then you can choose to buy one of the villas instead. Otherwise, you can also choose not to purchase any of our properties. To be honest, our properties are selling very well. Even though we've only recently opened the sale for the ordinary residential housing area, almost 80% of the properties have already been sold." At this time, the expression on Harold's face turned ugly immediately. He originally thought that the property guide would have no choice but to give in to his request if he threatened not to buy the property. However, he did not expect her nonchalant attitude at all. Her meaning was clear and simple: if you love it, you can buy it. If not, feel free to leave any time you want. At this time, a furious Harold turned around to look at his parents before he blurted out, "Let's go. I no longer want to buy any of the properties here. We can buy properties somewhere else, since it's not as though we don't have any money." Harold's mother stared at her son before she said, "Why should we leave now? I want to buy one of the houses here. I don't wish to live anywhere else." Harold continued persuading his mother. "Mom, do you really want to be one of those people standing guard and taking the bullet for the wealthy people living in the villas? You should be treated differently. You should not settle for less. What's so great about the residential houses here? You don't know anything at all." Mother replied immediately. Even if the environment and the facilities in the ordinary residential houses and the high-rise condominiums are not as great as those in the inner villas, this is the best high-rise condominium in Oris Hill. The villa that your grandmother has left behind for us is too old. I'm already bored after having lived there for such a long time." His father also nodded before he said, "Your grandmother's villa is really very old and the surrounding area is too remote. We do not have any facilities nearby and we have to travel such a long distance just to buy a pack of cigarettes. How can we even compare that to the facilities that we'll enjoy here? I'm supportive of your mother's idea. Let's buy one of the units here." Harold sighed at this time because he had been so rude and forceful towards the property guide earlier, but now, he looked like a joke to the crowd of people. Even though he was very irritated, he suddenly saw two familiar faces that intrigued him immediately. After that, he yelled, "Emma! Alex! What are you doing here?" Emma did not expect to be spotted by Harold. However, as soon as Harold called out their names, his entire family turned around to look at the two of them. At this time, Emma had no choice but to smile as she replied, "Alex and I are here to have a look at the properties." Harold laughed before he said contemptuously, "Why? Can you even afford to buy any of the houses here? Your husband doesn't even have a job and he's living off you. Why are you still dreaming of buying a house at such a high-end place like Beacon Top?"